Hey Sharif, looks like the Winter 20 releases are coming out, and all the sandboxes are getting primed to get the pre-release basically for us to check it out and roll it out as well. So I want to basically show people where they can find when their instance is going to get the release kicked in. So this is the sandbox. So the major releases for the sandbox for Winter 20 is the 7th and the 11/12 as well. So you can see this image, you'll see your sandbox version or instance number, and you can basically check when the releases are going to hit. Apart from that, you can also go to trust.salesforce.com, which is overall really cool, and search for your instance and see the releases over here, so on the maintenance tab. But yeah, it's exciting with a lot of new features coming out in Winter 20. And I think, Sharif, we should probably go over to the release notes and check them out one by one, right?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. And just as a quick note on the instance upgrades and the sandboxes, just from experience, make sure you keep an eye on those, especially if you have active development. Things like API names and different versions sometimes stop the ability to push from a sandbox to production until those two environments are in sync. So definitely keep an eye out for that, especially if you're on a big project and you have go live dates and things like that. I've been stung in the past.
Yeah. And if you're an ISV provider, make sure you test your packages against release. Usually there's no problem, but it's always good to double check and make sure all your customers don't raise a lot of tickets after the releases go live. But yeah,
this is exciting. This, the overall features here, I'm seeing a few that, I got excited as soon as I seen them.
Yeah, I read through a little bit initially, I think, but I figured, we'll do this on the channel so that everybody can go through the features with us. So one of the cool and probably a little bit controversial stuff that is coming out this release is Lightning experience is getting turned on for everybody, and they are removing the option to disable it. So you're getting forced into Lightning, which has been the strategy for a while. So that's going to be interesting to see how people are adapting to it. But yeah, it's going to be something that you have to be ready for your release. So one of the things I think Salesforce is, helping with is that you have this new scanner where you can actually check if the apps are compatible. You'll lose the JavaScript buttons, so you'll need to be able to migrate that. So if you have partners who are helping you build your org, reach out to them, make sure you're ready for the transition. But Lightning is coming, right?
So let me clarify something, Shiv. So Lightning will be turned on for everybody, but they still have the option to switch back to Classic. Is that correct?
No, they're removing the option to disable it right now.
To disable it, but so while everybody is still going to have the button that says switch to Lightning, once they switch to Lightning, they could still go back to Classic if they have that, if they have that permission. Is that correct?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, you should have access to Classic after the Lightning experience is turned on.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to make anybody panic and think that they're not going to be able. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so the experience is turning on, but you can still switch to Classic. That's right. Perfect. Okay. So the other one, which I think this is a minor update with the engagement. So the prompts in the help menu are going to be more non-intrusive. So you can basically work with it a bit more better, and the prompts are you have a lot of control over where the resources appear, etc. So that's going to be a cool UI release. The other cool aspect is Recycle Bin is now in Lightning Experience, which I think is interesting. A lot of people were asking, and you had to switch back to Classic before. So now that's going to be part of the Lightning Experience.
Yeah,
With
that was one of my that was one of the ones I got really happy when I saw. And it actually gets its own tab, so it's an upgrade.
Absolutely. And that makes a lot of sense. Also, if you remember the other one, which I felt like is pretty cool, is Salesforce had this thing called topics. And I know some of the customers that we used to work with use topics for categorization. Now, with the new release, looks like topic is getting a lot more focus, where you can create list views that would stay on topic and you can filter them, and you can view records by topic as well on the topic detail page, which is pretty cool as well. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think it should,
this is an important one. I had a few clients that downloaded third-party apps and different things to make topics work the way they wanted to. So I think this is a big one for a lot of businesses. You know, like they want this.
yeah. So this is especially good if, with the advent of Twitter and Facebook and Insta with all the hashtags. I think it'd be easier for people to collaborate with topics, and also seeing the records that are tagged with these topics in the feed. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's nice. And the other aspect, I think there's a lot more coming in. You can have mass action. So I think that's another cool mass actions. You can actually apply mass actions on search results and quick filters, which is also pretty cool, I think. Just increasing productivity. Yeah,
Yeah, have being able to do
exactly.
this
So
being able to do this on a search result, that's a big productivity, because usually what you would do in the past is you might find something and then you'd have to go build a list view, or figure out and then apply the action that way, or find another way to do it. This, if having to do it directly from the search results, that'll save a lot of time.
yeah, I think in terms of day to day, in terms of user training adoption, this makes it easier too. So you can just apply it in one go, and you don't have to worry about the list view alone. So that's pretty cool. Printable view is awesome as well. I think this too, especially with I remember a lot of customers who have to print the record detail right out of Salesforce, and the printable view was not that really great for lists. So that is pretty cool. You have the list view and you can just print right from there, and it's optimized for printing, so you save a lot of ink. So
Yeah, but that's also another big one. I've had a lot of clients look for this, and the other option to like export it to Excel and try to print Excel, it just wasn't a user-friendly method.
Yeah, so now you have, next to your list view, you'll have this printable view, button that you can basically help to print the list out. I think especially with, if you're looking at sales teams, or even, checklists for, some of the healthcare side as well, it's pretty cool. And for events, if you have attendees coming in, etc., you just use the list view right now just to print that out and go down the list. So that's pretty cool.
Don't scare people, Shiv. I don't think anybody can print anything with HIPAA compliance for healthcare.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, the other one that I like is navigate directly to an app. This, I think, when I read it, it's more for the Salesforce mobile, but let me double check. No, this is for the Salesforce Lightning Experience desktop. In mobile, you used to have what they call as deep linking, where any URL that has maybe like Salesforce : and you link it, it opens the app directly. I think here, the same kind of concept, but it's applied to the apps that you have on your app launcher. So I'm pretty sure some of the ISV apps are gonna probably use this a little bit more, and you can just basically directly jump into the app or some of the particular tab right away using the link.
That's useful.
Again, yeah, super cool for productivity. We have Einstein Search Beta. I have not checked this one out. Let's check what that is. Yeah, Search Beta. Oh, yeah. This is the one, I think, which gives recommendation. Yeah, I remember this one. So this is where when you search, you get a specific also recommends records that you might be searching for using AI, which has fuzzy matching and contextual records that could possibly come up. That's and it's going to be personalized as well. It looks like, so that's going to also save a lot of time in you searching. It looks like Salesforce building Google right in with within Salesforce, which is pretty cool. So it looks like, what else is there? Instant reports, as well as profile. Yeah, the profile search results as well. I think that's pretty cool. Search is getting more powerful with Einstein coming in. So that's awesome. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome as well. So Salesforce surveys. Have you used Salesforce surveys before, Sri?
I haven't.
Yeah. So it looks very much similar to how Get Feedback is, and at least that's how I feel. And you have a tighter integration with Salesforce. I think with the new release, service is getting better. Looks like better integration, better analysis. So you also have you can assign topics to surveys, and there's a lot more features coming in.
Not sure if you know this, Shiv, but does this come out of the box with Service Cloud, or is this an add-on?
So Salesforce survey, I think you have one survey that you can create for free, but it's a separate SKU, so you will have to buy licenses for it, just like any other survey tool. But I remember in a developer org or in a production org, we try to test that, and you have a free survey that you can create at first. So
okay.
I highly recommend people to try that out in your dev or production, just to see how this looks. But yeah, if you look at it, versioning is something that I really like about surveys. It looks like it's you can switch between survey versions with a click, so it's going to be cool. I think I want to test this out. A lot more options opening up with the new release. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite ones, Sharif, this one, which is the Lightning Scheduler. So I remember Lightning Scheduler was not available or was deprecated from Classic for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and looks like Lightning Scheduler is making a comeback with group appointments, multi-resource scheduling, enhanced efficiency with concurrent scheduling, which is perfect. I think multiple customer appointments during the same time slot. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if you have multiple doctors or multiple appointment slots that you can have a concurrent scheduling right now, which is also perfect. Quick schedule international appointments. Oh wow, time zone. Oh, this looks pretty cool. There's a lot of cool features. It's going to be a very good scheduling app. Probably, I think you and I, we use Calendly, right? So maybe it's time for us to probably make the switch to Lightning Scheduler. Looks like it's going to have almost everything that a full-blown scheduler is capable of, which is awesome. I'm going to go down the rabbit hole to just see what this is. Optimize customer appointment scheduling. Oh wow. Financial various TA, concurrent scheduling lets you move multiple customer appointments during the same time slot. That is pretty cool. So yeah, scheduler is going to be really, really important, and I think that's a feature that I'm looking forward to for sure in the overall side.
And when it went away from Classic, that was a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
I think it was called Cloud Scheduler at that time. It still had, very cool features where you had the display and you could select multiple slots and send it over to the customer. They can just pick the time slots that you reserve for them. And you can collaborate over it. But I think
I think if I remember, I think it might have been called Cloud Scheduler, I believe.
Yeah, Cloud Scheduler, yes.
Yeah, so that's
it was deprecated a couple of releases back, I think, and now with the Lightning coming in, which is pretty cool. I'm very excited about that. And there are general updates, I think revised form for giving feedback to Salesforce. There's a new security updates overall tab. Just gonna check that out. Okay, that's looks like it's gonna be pop-ups for security updates. You'll see the critical updates come up. I think there's gonna be more focus on the security and making it more visible. That's perfect. Document tracking. This is cool. I want to check that out. Streamline process with document tracking and approvals, generally available. What does this do? Changes, okay, boost customer engagement by tracking documents and approvals for use cases such as mortgage applications. They upload files directly into Financial Services Cloud, monitor status of each document. Oh, that's perfect. So documents are getting, I think we used to use Dropbox or Box for document approvals. And I think now with this coming in, it looks like you can track if the customer opened the document, downloaded the document, and even manage the approvals from here, which is perfect.
Yep.
Let's look at this. Customer upload the relevant file for each document checklist through communities, and you can reject those documents that are unreadable and have wrong information. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
think I built a custom version of this at least 6 times. So it's great.
I know everything is digital, but even now for most of the processes, especially like as I mentioned for mortgage and some of the other very specific legal processes, people still have to use documents, right? So
yep.
I don't think documents are going anywhere, but this is pretty cool that they're beefing up the capabilities of document tracking and approvals, which I think a lot of people will be really happy about. This is also, I think the UI, it's the Lightning Console apps. I think dialogues and the user experience, you can change that through the API, and with the colors and where the dialogues are going to be popping up, you have a lot more control over that, which is pretty cool as well.
Nice.
Yeah, the optimizer, which is I think the whole Salesforce org review, which also now comes with a little bit more a facelift, I think. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how that looks up. Instead of creating a personalized PDF using Roundcode, just create PDF, click button. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that looks as well. And the last one is more of a back-end object level change, I think. It's just more of the type of topic assignment object was changed. So it's pretty good. I think it's just more of what the type was. It is, I think, contract then instead of S object. So yeah, that's more of a back-end kind of change.
Yeah, looks like it's an important one to keep an eye on if you are using this in some kind of code, because it looks like it's gonna break.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're using SOAP and the WSDL, that's where I think you need to update your partner or enterprise WSDL to reflect that. Otherwise, that's going to break if you're using topic assignments. But that's cool. So it looks like there's a lot of overall updates with the Salesforce Winter 20 release coming up. Yep. And I think the major dates for a production release are on the 5th and the 12th of October. October 5th is going to be a major release for some of the instances, and there's an October 12th release for some of the other instances that are not getting updated on the 5th. So definitely check your trust.salesforce with your instance to know when the releases are hitting your production and sandboxes. So let's go over some of the other releases in the release updates in the next show. But yeah, I think this is a pretty exciting release.
Yeah, it is. And if you have a chance, go maybe get a dev org, play around with it. Look at all the different features so you're not breaking things in your own org.
Sounds good. All right, guys. If you like this content, definitely subscribe and like, and we will put more content out like this. Thank you so much.